Good afternoon, world. It is 1:40, almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Hope you guys enjoyed my video yesterday. Today I'm happy because I got my check. I got my nice check from the government. So after I make this video, I will watch my video. Then I'm going to take my shower. I'm going to cash my check. I'm going to go to the store and get my beer and smokes and some food. Probably some pizza. I'll get myself some slices of pizza. I hope you guys enjoyed my video yesterday, whereby I talked about Zanus as usual. I talked a little bit about The Great Escape yesterday, but I talked about Zanus as usual. I love talking about Zanus. Zanus is a movie based. It's gonna be a movie based off my book that I wrote. Whereas The Great Escape and all my other movies are not based on the book that I wrote, right? That's why Zanus is very precious to me. Zanus is the only movie where I'm actually gonna put in like the dirty work. I'm gonna write it myself. I'm gonna co-write it. Whereas all my other movies, I'm not gonna write it. I'm taking a break. After Zanus, I'm just gonna sit back. I'll take notes for my screenplay. I'll have an idea for what I want to happen in the story, but I'm gonna hire my own writing team. Hire like for The Great Escape, I'll hire one screenwriter in Hollywood who has experience writing those kind of movies. You can hire the writer who did Taken. You can hire the writer who did James Bond. James Bond. Hire the writer who did James Bond and Taken to write your Great Escape script. Samsara. Or Born Identity and James Bond. Or John Wick and James Bond. And you have your director have your director and your two scriptwriters help the two screenwriters write the scripts. Obviously. And I'll be in the room with them, giving them my ideas, but I'm not writing it. Because CIA shit is very complicated stuff, man. Hey guys, for The Great Escape, I'm just gonna executive produce and act, and you're doing the dirty work. You're writing the script. For Zayas, I'm willing to write the script, obviously, because Zayas is my precious story. I wrote it, and so I know what's best for my story, but I wrote Zayas. Because I know what's best for my story, but it doesn't mean I don't need help. I need help, obviously. I need Peter Jackson or Mel, and my two sisters are always helping me. Peter might tell me, Ivan, my wife Fran's more than happy to help us co-write the script. I'm like, Peter, we don't need like 5 co-writers. That's crazy. We already have two scriptwriters helping me. That's enough. I don't need. The only way I'll have Fran and Guillermo Toro co-writer with me is if my two scriptwriters are not involved, but I want them to be involved. There's a reason why I'm calling them my script developers. I want them involved in writing the script. And so I don't need Fran and Guillermo Toro to help me. Peter's enough. Peter's brilliant mind's enough to help me. He co-wrote Lord of the Rings. It's enough to help me, obviously. You have my two social workers' brilliant minds to help me out, and you have my brilliant mind. So you have four minds. That's enough for the script, obviously. Co-writing the ANC will be dirty work, man. That's dirty work. But because I'm only working on it 2.5 hours every morning, it takes the stress off everyone. If you work on it every day, 5 days a week, After 1 month, you'll be surprised. We're already like 40. You already wrote 40 pages. After 1 month, we already wrote like what, 40, 45, 50 pages. Like, holy shit. A month already went by. We already wrote 40 pages. Yeah, if you write a good 2, 3 pages every morning, and within like a month, you'll write like 40 pages. Before you know it, 8, 9, 10 months go by, and the script is now done. We wrote like a 400-page script, 380, 400-page script. Yeah, the 3 volumes are done. For Xanus, obviously. And as long as you follow the story for Xanus, you'll get a good screenplay. You'll get a good script. Xanus is a masterpiece. There's some things in the book that will not translate well on screen, hence I'm gonna have to change a few things. But as long as you follow the DNA of the story, man, you'll get a good movie. You'll get an amazing movie. You'll get a good movie. I know what I'm doing. You'll get a good movie. As long as you what? As long as you follow the story. That's why I'm gonna tell Peter, I don't want you changing a bunch of stuff like you did for Lord of the Rings. I don't mind us changing some stuff, obviously, to make the story more interesting. But don't be adding and changing a lot of things in the story. There's nothing wrong with adding things, you know what I'm saying, in the story to make it more interesting, adding dialogue. I'm fine with that. But don't change the DNA of the story. Like, stick to the story. Like, for Lord of the Rings, you changed a lot of things, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you doing that for Zayn. I don't want you tampering with my story. We need to follow the story. But, like, we can add dialogue, detail from dialogue and scenes to make it more interesting, honestly. So, Zara, we write a good script. We write an amazing script, obviously, for Xanus. So Xanus, I will write that, obviously. I'm gonna put in the work, and I'm gonna do the dirty work. I'm gonna write it, and after that, I'm never writing a script ever again. I'm gonna hire my own writing team to write out my other movies. I'll take the notes with my wife. Obviously, I'll take the notes with my wife. Obviously, I will take the notes with my wife for the Great Escape and their unique and all stuff, and I'll be in the room with them, giving them ideas, overseeing it, but I'm not writing it. So there. Like guys, after Zane's, I'm just gonna executive produce. So I'll make the calls for the main things, sign some of the crew and the stars, and act and practice my lines. All I want to do is just produce and just act. Practice my lines. I don't have time to write the script and all that. Like Zane's is the exception, but after Zane's, I'm never doing that again. I'm not writing another. I'm not writing another what? Another script ever again, obviously. If I do The Matrix, I will have the Wachowski sisters write it. I'll have them co-write the script. Obviously, I'll hire maybe one screenwriter to help them co-write the script. I'll take my notes with them, obviously, for what ideas I have for the story, but they have to write it, obviously. But high chance I told you I will not be doing The Matrix. I might do The Matrix. We'll see what happens. You guys already know. You can see the future. But what? Chances are I will be doing The Great Escape because The Great Escape is my brand. It's my IP. I don't have to purchase the rights for anything for that. Whereas Matrix, I have to purchase the rights off Warner Brothers. They what? They have the rights to The Matrix, obviously. And David Zaslav will not agree to delete Resurrections. That's why the Matrix thing is most likely not going to happen. But it might happen. We'll see what happens. But I most likely will be doing the Great Escape movie with Keanu Reeves and all of them. I will not be doing the Matrix most likely. The Great Escape is an amazing story, anyways. BJ will probably tell me, Ivan, let's just do the Great Escape. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like calling Warner Bros. And making all these annoying calls. Yeah, you're right. I don't feel like making all these annoying calls. Ivan, we have to do a lot of annoying calls. We have to do all these. We have to meet with execs. It's annoying, Ivan. Let's just do the Great Escape. We don't have to meet with anyone. We own the rights to this IP. Yeah, the Great Escape is my story in my mind. What? Everything is easier for that movie, obviously. John Favreau, Dave Filoni, or the Russo brothers ever hire, right? They might tell me, yeah, Ivan, do the Great Escape. So don't waste your time buying the rights to the make. It's a lot of work, Ivan. You have to make all these annoying calls. You have to meet with the execs. You really want to do all that work, Ivan? That annoying work, Ivan? Those annoying paperwork, Ivan? At the same time, Ivan, it would be cool seeing you as the one kicking ass. Yeah. And VJ is the love of your life in the movie, obviously. It would be cool, Ivan. Yeah, it would be cool. It would be cool, obviously. It would be cool. It would be cool, obviously. Like Keanu Reeves is not getting any younger. The guy I think is like 59 now. Keanu Reeves is like 59, 60. He's turning 60 this year. So by the time I do the Great Escape, will be I don't know. The Great Escape, I might start the process of that in 2031. It will be like in his late 60s, 68. By the time I film the movie, he'll be 70. Keanu Reeves, 70, 71 maybe. He's not getting any younger. 70, 71, your body's still pretty strong. You can do some action sequences, obviously. He'll struggle a little bit with the action sequences, but he'll still be pretty fine. Once he's 80, he's done. His body's done, obviously. That's why you gotta have him in your movie when he's still younger, when he's able to do the things he's able to do. What I'll do is I'll have him do more gun scenes instead of fighting action sequences. That way it's easier on his body. Okay, to make it easier on your body, Keanu, I'll have you do a lot of gun scenes. He's badass with his gun, but like he has a few fighting scenes in the he has quite a few fighting scenes in the movie. That way it's easier on his body. And Ben Affleck will not have that much fighting scenes as he's the big boss, but I'll have him have a few fighting scenes, obviously. And Scarlett Johansson will be 50, so she'll be able to do um the action sequences easily. 50 years old, you're still fine. Scarlett Johansson will be in her late 40s, around there, late 40 to 48 maybe. You know what I'm saying? Don't hate me, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so she'll be able to do what? Stunts, obviously. Her own fighting. She'll be able to do a lot. She'll be able to do a lot of fighting scenes in the movie. Because 50 years old, you're still fine. Your body's still fine. It's once you hit 70 is when your body will start to struggle a little bit. 6 years old, you're still pretty fine too for an action movie. You're still fine. It's once you hit 70, your body starts to you start to really feel it on your body when you're 7 years old. And that's why you gotta get Keanu Reeves on your movie. Get him on board when he's still younger, man. Like because if I do the Matrix trilogy, you know, then Keanu Reeves will not be in my movie, obviously. In the Matrix movie, I plan on doing a 3 movie trilogy for that. Matrix 4, Matrix 5, Matrix 6. That's my idea for the Matrix franchise. You guys already know what I'm talking about. I plan on doing 3 movies. I plan on doing 3 movies for the Matrix trilogy. So it's like a 8, 9, 10 year what 10-year journey for the Matrix. The chances are I'm gonna end up doing the Grayscape over the Matrix, just because I know I don't have to purchase the rights off Warner Bros. Like the Grayscape is my IP. I don't have to worry about purchasing the rights for anything. It's my IP, Samsara. That's my point. It's my IP. And I'm excited because after this, I'm going to get my beer and smokes. I'm going to get my beer and smokes. After I watch my video, I'll get my beer and smokes. My beer and smokes. Yeah. Get my beer and smokes after this, obviously. I might just make a 1 hour video, to be honest. I don't know if I feel like talking for a full video today, but I might make a 1 hour video today. We'll see what happens. Yeah. That's what my scotch is coming to blow out of the water. And all the Hollywood actors are going to want to be in my movie so bad. That's going to be crazy. They're going to want to be in my movie so bad. And for the royalties, I'm going to give them a flat amount. So instead of doing the thing where I give you get more money if the movie does less, or you get more money if the movie does more, you get less money if the movie does more for the royalties. I'll just give them a flat amount. That way I know these actors don't rip me off. Because the last thing you want to do is have Keanu Reeves walk away with $200 million of your royalties. Of the royalties, he's not ripping you off. He's not worth that. You're being far too generous with Keanu Reeves. You don't want Ben Affleck walking away with $90, $100 million of your royalties. He's not worth that. You don't want Scarlett Johansson walking away with $180 million of your royalties. $120 million of your royalties. They're ripping you off. You don't want John Boyega walking away with $7 million of your royalties. $6 million of your royalties. He's ripping you off. See what I'm saying? And that's why I just give them a flat amount. That way you keep the actors in check. You keep all your stars. So for the royalties, I'm just gonna give everyone an amount. You get a certain amount of money of the royalties deposit into your bank. That way, a flat amount. That way that you know they will not rip you off. Sarah. Yeah. You know they don't. That way you know they don't rip you off. Obviously. You know they don't rip you off. Like for the small ace actors will get like 5.5 million minimum. So the minimum royalty amount it will be 5.5 million for my company. So the ones who get the ones who are worth like $10 million, 8 million, 9 million, 13, 14, $50 million, those guys get like 5.56, $7 million around there, 8 million royalties. So 5.5 million. The small acers will get 5.5 million to like 20 like $4 million in royalties. But 20, 20, 21, 22, 23, $24 million in royalties is rare. Chances are they're going to get between that 5.5, 16 million range on average, the small ace actors. You see what I'm saying? That's how it's going to work for the small ace actors. And then the bigger ones, the ones who are worth 70 to like 199 million, those guys get 25 million to like $45 million in royalties. But 45, 40 million royalties is more rare. Chances are if the guy is worth 80, 85, $9 million, that he will get probably 30 million in royalties. 28, 35 million, 33 million royalties. 40, 45 million royalties is a bit more rare. And the ones who are worth 100 to like 100 to like 199 million, those guys will get on average 40 to like 60, 65 million in royalties around there, 66 million in royalties. But 66, 60 million in royalties is probably a bit more rare. The guy has to be pretty big. Chances are they're going to get on average 40, 45, 50 million royalties. So, and the ones who are worth 200 to 300 million, those guys you get like 55 million to that like 55, 60 million range to that like 90 million range on average. But the 90, 85, 80 million range is rare. Chances are those guys will get their 70 million, 75 million, 60, 65 million on average. And the really, really big ones, the rarities, those guys will get on average like 70 million to $120 million. 75 million, 80 million minimum. The guys who are worth 300, like 20 million, those guys will get minimum like 80 million in royalties. 80 million, 75 million to like 120 million in royalties. But 120, 125 million is rare. The guy has to be really big. If the guys like a Dwayne Johnson and Will Smith, those guys are worth $120 million. Sarah. Like Denzel Washington, I wouldn't give him $120 million. I would give someone like him maybe $90 million of the profits, $95 million of the profits, 90 million. Someone like Denzel Washington. He's big, but he's not Will Smith. He's not as big as Will Smith. He's not as big as Dwayne Johnson. So that's how the payment structure will work for the royalties. And that's how my company will blow Hollywood out of the water. Hollywood doesn't pay the actors. The actors don't make that kind of money in Hollywood. Sarah. The reason why I'm jealous is because I know I'm going to make a lot of money off my movie. I'm going to make my billions. Hence why I think these actors are going to be... There's nothing worse than you making all that money. These actors are making peanuts compared to you. It doesn't hurt to give them a piece of the royalties, but do not let them rip you off. If the guy's worth $75 million and he wants a $100 million deal for the royalties, I'm not going to pay him that. He's ripping me off. No. If you're only worth like $75 million, I'm only going to give you like a $28 million royalty, which is good enough. You don't what? You don't even make this in Hollywood. That's a lot of money in your bank, man. You're just greedy, Sarah. Yeah. Sarah. Yeah, so that's my deal for those for the actors. And you guys already know how much money I'm willing to pay them for their base salary. You guys already know how much the ranks, right? B-list actors, rising stars. You pretty much have the B-list actor salaries, and you have the A-lister salaries. The smaller ones, the bigger ones. Whereas rising stars are very rare. You don't find many in Hollywood. There's barely any rising stars. So essentially, you have the B-listers, television stars, and you have the A-listers, the big budget movie stars, the smaller ones and the bigger ones. So you have ranks within the A-lister rank. Even though the smaller ones are A-listers, they're not bigger. They're not. There's ranks. That's how I see it. You have the smaller ones and you have the bigger ones. Obviously, the smaller ones are A-list actors, but they're not like huge. They're only worth like 10, 15, 20, you know what I'm saying, $30 million. Or A-list actors, but they're not like big, the big wig ones. The ones who are worth like 70, 80, 90, 100, $150 million. I'm saying. You have ranks within the A-lister rank, obviously. That's how I see it. And the A-list actors are the ones who are worth the dough because they're the ones who are going to build that buzz. Whereas nobody cares about the B-list actors. Hence why they're not worth their royalties. And they don't pay them any more than $4.9 million for the B-list actors. But the B-list actors are rare. The B-list actors who make $4.9 million are rare. As most B actors will not be making $4.9 million. No, most of them are gonna make on average 3.3, 2.5 on average to like $3.3 million. You pay them, which is a good paycheck. They don't make that in Hollywood. For television, they all make like 800 grand for television, 600 grand, $1 million for television. I'm paying you $3 million, $2.5 million. That's more than what you're making for your fucking television show. I gave you good deals, I'm saying, but they're not worth any more than that. They're only worth their royalty check for the merch, and they're flat like $2.5-3 million salary, and that's it. With the exception for Zayn, I'm paying everyone a lot of money, giving them a piece of road. It's a unique story. It's a special story. And that's why for Zayn, this is the exception, obviously. Zayn is the exception, obviously. Zaynus is the exception, obviously. Zayn is the exception, obviously. Zayn is the exception, obviously. Whereas what? Whereas all American movies, the biggest actors do not get squat. They do not get squat off the royalties. Biggest actors do not get squat off the royalties. Hence why the biggest actors are not worth. They're not worth a lot of money because they don't. No one really cares about them. They don't build that much buzz. Like you see a television star in a big budget movie, no one in your movie, no one will really care. Whereas if you have an A-list actor that's well known, that everyone knows, who's everyone's seen on the big screen, if you see someone like Keanu Reeves and Ben Affleck, those guys are gonna. At the end of the day, I'm the main show. Me and my wife are the main show. But if you see those actors in the movie, they're gonna build buzz. Oh my god, that's Ben Affleck, that's Keanu Reeves. It's gonna build more buzz. Whereas if you have some B-list actor, no one will care about the. They won't have as much buzz. They won't build as much buzz. And that's why the B-list actors are not worth as much money. They're worth their 2.5, $3 million, $3.3 million. So I'm saying, was the A-list actors are worth the dough because they're big stars. They're small compared to me, obviously. Don't hate me, guys. They're very small compared to me, but what? Because they're A-list actors, they build buzz. They're gonna build a lot of buzz for the movie. That's why they're worth the dough. They're worth a lot of money. But even though they're worth a lot of money, you got to be careful for the sharks. Do not let the Hollywood actors dupe you, as their agents are all greedy, obviously. Guarantee Keanu Reeves' agent will try and push for like 150, even $200 million in royalties. I'm like, no, I'm not. Keanu Reeves, Warner was maybe stupid enough to overpay you and pay you $200 million, $250 million for the Matrix. I'm not gonna pay you that. You're not worth that. You rip me off. Ivan, that's nothing, man. Like Ivan, you're making a big deal over $200 million. You're gonna make your billions. I'm like, Keanu, you're not worth $200 of my royalties. So you're getting greedy, man. I'm not gonna pay you that. It's a deal, Ivan. Yeah, I gave you a good deal. You'll accept my deal, obviously. $120 in royalties is a lot of money. Keanu, you're gonna walk away now on about $100 million in your bank after taxes. After the 2.5 years are done, I gave you a good deal. You're gonna be $100 million richer. Yes, it's pocket change compared to how much money I'm making. Don't hate me. But I gave you a good deal. You're just being greedy. This agent might try and push for like a $200 million deal. I'm like, no. I'm not going to pay Keanu Reeves $200 million at the royalties. Especially Will Smith. If Will Smith is chosen for the Him movie, he's greedy. He might try and push for like a $250 million like deal with the royalties. I'm like, no, Will, I'm not going to pay you that, man. You rip me off. You're not worth it. Like, yeah, you may be big in Hollywood and you're the star of your movie. When you're in my movie, you're no longer the star. So, Sarah, you're my co-star, but you're no longer the star, the main star of the movie. I'm the main star. Me and my wife are the main stars. You're not the main star. That's why you're not. If you want a $250 million deal for the royalties, I'm not going to pay you that. You're getting greedy, Will. I'm not going to pay you that. You're greedy. You see what I'm saying? You're getting greedy, Will. Because Will is a greedy pig. Because Hollywood treats him like a god, and he makes a lot of money, man. Like if he's chosen with him, he might try and push for like a $250 million deal for the rollies. I'm like, no, well, I'm not gonna pay you that. $120 million is enough. I'm not paying any more than that. If you're greedy, I can pay you a bit more. I can give you $125 million to keep you happy, but I'm not going any higher than that, man. $125 million of the profits in royalties is enough money. You don't make this in Hollywood. The highest Will Smith made, I believe, was like $100 million. It was about $100 million for Bad Boys for Life. He made like $100 million. Will Smith, I heard. And I'm giving you $120 million in royalties. That does not include your $60 million salary that I'm paying you. Your $63 million salary that I'm paying you. Yeah. You sign like a $180 million or a one what? 80 something $1 million deal. I gave you a good deal. You're just greedy. Here's a deal, Ivan. Yeah, I gave you a good deal. From Sarah. I gave Will Smith a good deal, obviously. Same goes for Dwayne. Because I might choose Dwayne Johnson for the Hit That movie. If he wants like $200 million of the royalties, I'm like, no, Dwayne. $120 million. Because by then he'll be worth Dwayne Johnson will be worth $350 million plus in like 16 years from now. $400 million he'll be worth, $500 million he'll be worth. I'm not going any higher than $125 million for him. I'm like, $125 million Wayne's enough. I'm not going any higher than that. You're getting greedy. You don't even make this in Hollywood. You make your 30, 20 million in Hollywood, and you go negotiate for a piece of the point sometimes, but not this kind of money. So Zara, you gotta be careful about these Hollywood actors. They're all animals. They're all sharks. These Hollywood actors are animals. They're sharks. And you gotta be careful about the sharks in Hollywood. Yes, I know my company's top notch. All the Hollywood agents are gonna want to get their clients to work for my company, obviously, because they know my company pays more in Hollywood. Yeah, whatever you do your very best to get into Ivan and VJ's movie, man. That's the ticket to success. And their company pays more in Hollywood. And it's a better company in Hollywood. Better budget movies, bigger budget movies. All the agents are going to be going on a frenzy, man. Trying to get their actors work for my company. They're going to be calling my office. It'll be crazy. Once it's open for business for Zayas, all the agents are going to be calling my office. Like, hello. This guy's Entertainment. How may I help you? They're all calling. But Zayas, most of my actors are chosen for that. So it's pointless for the agents to call. But I mean, either way, the agents are still going to call my office. Peter Jackson's agent, Mel Gibson's agents, they're all going to call my office. It's been crazy. My secretary's going to be busy, man. That's why I might hire an assistant to help with my two secondaries. But two secondaries should be enough. Check my calendar.